Let's look at a problem involving contingency tables. In this problem, we're given a bag of peanuts that have 111 shells in total. We're told that 43 contain one peanut, 65 contain two peanuts, and the rest contain three peanuts. Of the shells with one peanut, 10 are cracked. Of the ones with two peanuts, 17 are cracked, and none of the shells with three peanuts are cracked. So I've got one, two, or three peanuts. I've got cracked or not cracked. So I'm setting up my table like this, where I've got cracked, not cracked as one variable, and the number in the shell as the other. I'm told the overall total is 111. So I'm going to put that in the bottom right corner. 43 is the total for 1. 65 is the total for 2. Adding these together so far gives me 108. So that tells me I have 3 remaining to add up to 111. It also tells me 40 of the 43, one peanut, 10 of them are cracked. So I'm going to put 10 here for the one cracked. 2 cracked is 17. None of the 3 are cracked, so 0 for the 3. If I add up the 10, the 17, and the 0, I get an overall total here of 27. Working vertically, 10 plus something gives me 43. That number is 33. 17 plus something gives me 65. If I do 65 minus 17, that gives me a value of 48. 0 plus something is 3. 0 plus 3 is 3. Now I can add these things horizontally, or I can figure out this missing number vertically, whichever makes more sense to you. I'm going to add up. 33 plus 48 puts me at 81. 81 plus 3 gives me 84. I can verify adding 27 and 84 does add up to that 111. This first part asks for the probability of cracked. In total, there were 27 cracked peanuts out of 111 shells. I'm going to try typing these in as fractions here in my open math, and I'll see if it takes them. 27 out of 111. For the next part, it's looking at not cracked and contains two peanuts. This is still out of that same total 111. That total doesn't change unless it's a given style question. I'll repeat that. The total will only change, the denominator will only change for given style problems. When I'm looking at and, I want to see where these things meet. So if I go to not cracked in 2, I see that I have the value 48 sitting there. I'm going to try typing in that fraction as is, 48 out of 111. In the next part, it's looking at the probability of not cracked, and or gives you more options. Or means add up everything in the first option with everything in the second option. Not cracked or has two peanuts. So I would take all of the not cracked, the 33, the 48, and the 3, and all of the 2, and I would add all of those numbers together. So I would have the 17 plus the 33 plus the 48 plus the 3. So I have all of those values I'm adding up, and I'm going to divide it by the overall total of 111. 17 plus 33 is 50. 50 plus 48 is 98. 98 plus 3 gives me 101. So I have 101 out of 11 there. I'm going to try typing this fraction as is without reducing or putting in my calculator, just setting up those ratios. And finally, this last part is looking at the probability that the shell is not cracked given. In given style questions, the denominator matches the information provided, given 2. So what that means is I'm only going to use the part of the table here with 2. That has a total of 65. So the total for the given is your denominator. Now inside of this, I'm looking for the amount that is not cracked. I have to stay inside of this 2 column to answer this. So the amount of non-cracked, 48, should be my numerator. Let's try typing this in using fractions as is. 48 out of 65. And this looks good except for not cracked or contains 2. So let's check and oops, I just typed in that number wrong. Let's try 101 there. There we go. So assuming I typed in all those values correctly, 27 out of 111, 48 out of 111, 101 out of 111, 48 out of 65. My open math took these things in their fraction form. The trick for doing this problem is using a table. If it's an and style problem, it's where they meet. If it's an or style problem, it's anywhere along the first or the second, adding up all of your options. If it's a given style question, that's the only time your denominator will change. Let's check out some more problems together.